This week we're reading Traitor Son by Melissa Cave, otherwise known as Bob the Builder Plays Age of Empires.
Hi readers, I'm Jordan.
And I'm Katie.
And welcome to Not Another Heroine, the book pod where we celebrate the heroines we love
and roast the ones we don't. We'll find you the best 5-star reads, the spiciest romance, and save you from the overhyped DNFs.
If it's romance, we'll read it.
Or watch it.
We like every flavor. So grab your favorite drink and get cozy. Welcome to Season 4.
Traitor Son by Melissa Cave. I remember you telling me about this book. I don't know that I was convinced. And then I started it and I was like, oh shit, this is what she was talking about. This is good.
When you texted me that you had finished Traitor Son already, I'm like, I never expected you to pick it up.
Yep, nope. It got me on the treadmill for like 80 minutes.
Nice.
Just, living my life.
I was so delighted to learn that you read this book.
That was so fucking good. I want this as a TV show. I feel like you said that during your pick of the week.
It would be, there's enough going on and enough, we talked about this offline, but at some points of this story, it feels like the author is playing Age of Empires. Like she just wants to build her little world and be like, oh, and here's a little cottage and here's a craftsman shop and here's a wall.
Yep.
Been there. I've played those games.
Yep. I think that's what kind of like, it was like a nostalgic, like, oh, I see what you're doing. I'll just watch.
This is definitely not your typical heroine. She's not a spunky, fiery, sassy girl at all.
Nope.
Her name is Ophiel.
I love that name, but also like
eyeroll. I get the same feeling when I see names like Odette.
Yeah. It's like beautiful. I love it. I can respect it, but like absolutely
give
not.
Me more princess coded than that.
It's not good enough. I will say, so I don't normally like these characters, but there's something that Melissa Cave does to like give them enough like depth, enough like well-roundedness that I was like, I don't like, the downtrodden whatever that much, but like respect you. I get it. Like you're just trying your best.
One of the reviews I read early on before reading the book myself said that the author did an 18-year-old believably without making them childish.
Yeah.
Ophiel is 18. Remin is 24. And they are believable at those ages and those experience levels. Because I think sometimes when we read these 18-year-old, 17-year-old romantasy heroines, they're like, I have the life experience of a 40-year-old and the mentality of a 12-year-old.
Yeah, literally. Oh my God. I'm not even good at yes. Excellent observation.
So I think it makes both Ophiel and Ophiel.
I feel like it has to be Ophiel.
Yeah.
Sure.
And Remin.
Yeah. We'll go with that.
Ophiel
and Remin.
We're going to stumble over this one a couple times. Believable together. I didn't love him as a character.
Nope.
I found him a little dumb.
Yeah. I could see the dumb. I'm just going to wrap it up with if you have read the book, you know exactly what I'm probably thinking. If you haven't read the book, he has a tendency to tell her to speak up. If a man said that to me, the number of felonies is like incalculable. I cannot. And he does it so many fucking times.
What's the word? Like infantilize?
Yeah.
He
I know
treats
exactly
her like that.
Yes.
I have the same reaction when a man tells me you should smile more.
Oh my God, dog.
Go fuck yourself.
I think it's probably because I'm 6 feet tall and I have a tendency toward RBF, but I've never been told that, but I'm waiting for the day.
I cannot count the number of times I've been told that.
Oh my God.
I think it's because I just look perpetually sad and I'm just like, no, I'm fine. Leave me the fuck alone.
I could see that. But dog. Okay. But in the story, not that it makes sense because I still feel like he's very douchebaggy, but it definitely kind of drives home the character trait that she's trying. And like she's a little bit tentative and she just needs the confidence. And then he like kind of beats her down. And then she's like, okay, like I'm not going to try anymore. Like it's very like believable that she's like not a wilting flower, but it's like, let me try. Whoop, nope, not going to try that again.
The dynamic is different and I can see it not appealing to every reader. And I will say it's not quite the romance you want.
Yeah.
It's still a romance. You still get the like, will they, won't they a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But it also feels like these characters are going to age up in 10 years and fall in love with other people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that kind of speaks to the side character, Sir Miche. We both, the whole time we were reading this, were like...
I hope in, like, book 3, like, they're all older, and he's like, now is my time to shine.
Because to the last page, I was like, this is like wrapping up pretty fast, but when are we going to get the like feeling Miche sideline, character plot?
I did so much research on the second book to find out
Mm.
if Miche actually turns out to be the main character. No.
Ew. Because I loved the first one. I wanted to read another one in this series. And I don't know that I have ever said this, but I wanted a different, like, character coupling for the second book. I don't know that I have ever said that in my life, but, like, I don't want to hear anything more about them.
I think Ophiel, like, aged up would be an entirely different character, and I want to read that story.
That would be a really, like, intriguing, because have we read any books that has the, like, previously a little bit, like, unsure of herself and, like, coming into, like, a confidence that's not, like, super outspoken? I haven't either, but that would be such an engaging character.
Actually, yes, A Girl of Fire and Thorns, which you hate.
I do.
But she has that arc.
I could see that, yeah, because she was definitely, like, for the whole first book,
Mhm.
even. That's true, because I did read all of them. They're crazy. Interesting. But that's such a, like, interesting dynamic character, because it's, like, you can tell that they are reacting with, like, experience of, like,
Mhm.
having been someone else and, like, coming into who they are. That's true.
Also, Dane from Wild Magic.
Ooh, yeah.
Setting aside all the age
Craziness. That's true. I love that.
But I cannot see Remin growing up into anything different. He is such a product of his childhood and all the trauma he suffered that he's just going to be Remin. He's going to be the Duke. He's going to be kind of an asshole who could carry a big sword and defeat monsters.
Yeah. Which is interesting, because I don't know that, like you said, I don't know that character would really work with Ophiel a little bit older, having, like, learned everything. Like, they would have to have, like, a really strong
Yeah, you see the
something.
makings of her because she's, scholarly. She reads a lot. She thinks through problems. She solves problems, like practical problems throughout the town. And she is likable. She's friendly to people. So all of those traits you can see kind of growing up and shaping into, like, she could be a duchess and she could be a very valuable leader and ruler, unlike Remin, who just is going to kill things.
I almost want to read the second book just to see how they...
Yeah.
Because you would have to do a disservice to the character to, like, make the romance work again, or you just... Because I think there's some kind of, like, kidnapping. I think someone's gone for most of the book, and that's also the only other way I can put it. I'm kind of interested now. But what I would love to see in the second book is kind of like a Sophie Beckett character from Bridgerton, where she's, like, been through the fucking, like, trenches. She has her own, like, small business, and she's like, I have to leave. I want, like, a new life. I'm gonna try my hardest. It's only been me. I've been, like, working by myself. I'm independent. And she goes to the town, and she's, like, doing fine but still struggling, and then she has to, like, learn to, like, let someone take care of her. Oh,
that would be good for Miche.
yeah, him or, like, one of the other knights. Like, Melissa Cave did a good job of, like, setting them up for their own book. So I don't know what her plan is for the rest of the series, because I think it's supposed to be like 8 books or something, or like a long...
I hope it's not all Remin and Ophiel.
Oh my god,
it's a lot.
Die. Yeah, but that's what I want. I want, like, a hardened, and then she has to, like, learn to be gentle, because it's the opposite of... I feel like it could be good.
I'm here for
Melissa
that.
Cave.
So let's kind of set some guidelines out for the world and kind of some themes, and then we'll get into the synopsis. So this is high fantasy.
Sure.
Maybe.
I believe you.
I don't know. Some people would say historical fantasy because there's magic, there's monster, demon, zombie creatures, but it feels very, like, historical.
Yeah. I think high fantasy, but you can tell that Melissa Cave did her research, because there's a lot of, like, I'm assuming historically accurate ways that they went about doing some of these things.
Yeah, there's like accurate portrayals of war and war machines. Like, we have a period here of, like, chivalry and knighthood, because it's Remin is a knight and he's got a collection of knights that carry lances, but we're a little bit past that era technology and society-wise. So it's an interesting mix of, like, A Knight's Tale meets period drama.
Yeah. No, that's spot on. That's exactly how I'd describe it. But you, like, also get this very rich, like, fantasy plot setting that, like, is existing in the background that kind of props everything up, that it's like a mix. It's like high fantasy, but, like, also historical. I don't know that I've read a book that does this. Like, Game of Thrones kind of does, but there's a lot of kind of, like, not nonsense, but like magical nonsense
Mhm.
happening. But this is very like
There's a lot of political machinations going on because there's an empire and the emperor rules by like divine right.
Mhm.
Like it's in his blood. Same thing with Ophiel. She's got like a drop
drop.
of starlight in her blood. And you can see it. Like, so
Mhm.
there's some magical divinity aspects here too.
Yeah.
It's so multifaceted. Like it's a cool
It's
world.
good, yeah. It's funny, it feels like it would be historical romance if you lived in this, like,
Mhm.
in this place.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it any more justice than
I think if you like your heavy world building and you like being dropped into these massively created worlds and you're there for that as well as a heavy romance, because I don't see this pairing too often where super detailed world building and characters paired with lots and lots of romance.
I was about to say, I think this is like a romantasy. Quintessential half and half, does justice to both. Because I wouldn't call it a fantasy romance necessarily. Like, there's a lot of fantasy, but the romance is like, there's a lot there.
It reminds me of Grace Draven's books with that
Mm.
equal split.
I feel like the tone is kind of similar to Grace Draven, but a little bit more analytical, maybe?
Yeah, it feels heavier.
Yeah.
Because Grace Draven is there to tell a romance
Yeah.
in a really cool world, and this is both. I'm here to describe a world and give you a really cool romance.
Mm-hmm. I agree. 100%. No notes.
Also, similar would be J.D. Evans' books, Reign and Ruin.
Oh, I could see that. I feel like I had another super similar one, but I think J.D. Evans is like the closest. Yeah.
Get into the story.
Sure.
Which is interesting because there's not a lot of story.
No, which is crazy because it's long.
It's over 500 pages, I think.
So hefty.
It doesn't...
Ooh, the audiobook is coming out soon, though. It's like not released yet.
Interesting.
A little tidbit for you.
I don't know if I can do it.
I don't know that I could do this in an audiobook format.
Some of these names, some of the character. Nope, I can't.
No. The 2-page long description of building walls would have I'd be like, nope, DNF. So definitely read this in book format.
All right. So it opens up. This is third person omniscient.
Yeah, which she is omniscienting as a verb. She's going through people's heads like swish, swish, swish.
It's awesome, though.
Yeah.
And you get just the right amount of each character. So we open with Remin. He is the last surviving member of his family. He is the son of a duke. We don't know why as the reader. And this is another good point of the author. She does a lot of showing, not telling.
Mm-hmm.
So his parents were traitors. We don't know why they're traitors. We don't know what they did, but they got executed. And Remin is the only surviving member of his family. He had a duchy. It was all his lands were seized. And so as a child, he becomes a squire to another duke, becomes a knight, and he is this big, burly, grows up really fast, and he is good at fighting. From there, he wins a lot of battles, and the emperor's like, I still don't like you or your family, but you're useful. So here's some gold. And oh, by the way, thank you for being a cool knight and a good warrior. Go defeat the monsters on the borderlands.
I love a good knight fighting war. But the scene where he goes into the throne room and the emperor gives him this poison apple reward is so good. I cannot.
What a setup for the whole book. This was the way to open.
Yes.
Not opening with the heroine, opening with him.
Yes. Yeah. Because I will say this is the most that I've been in a dude's head in a book, and I haven't minded because it's just there's so much going on that you're like, I'm involved. I'm invested.
And Remin, he's like, all right, fuck you. I'll go kill all of them. I'll defeat this empire, but I want all of the lands. I'm going to be the Duke of Andalin, and I'm going to marry your daughter.
I love it. I don't know what it is about a love interest that's just one of those decides it and does it, but dog.
And he doesn't even care what daughter. He's like, just give me some of your blood. I don't care who. But
also sneaky on the emperor for being yes, but no.
Because no one expects Remin to be successful against this horde of demons. But he is. Him and his knights. And you get some of the battles, I think, early on. It's pretty atrocious.
I think it's 7 years or 8 years. You feel that, too. Because I feel like sometimes they kind of 8 years later. But it's no, you can tell that he's been through the ringer.
Fighting. And so for a young-ish male character, because he is 24, you feel like he's gone through a lot. So he doesn't feel young, I would say.
Yeah. I am I saw that you wrote 24. In my brain, I knew he was 24, but like the whole time I was like, he's like 37.
Yeah. But that's also true for that kind of setting, too,
Mhm.
is that they would have experienced all these battles and all this hardship at
Mhm.
such a young age, too.
Yeah.
Especially if he's been a squire since he was 7.
Mm.
I made that number up, but
yes, you're right.
but after this kind of like climax of a scene between him, I can't use that word. That was
Okay.
a bad choice of word.
Sure.
I won't be using that again.
I believe you, but wow.
That was wrong. I'm blushing.
Oh my god. He gets with his retinue and he goes to get his like war prize.
He is traveling to the estate of the emperor's daughter, and this is where we get a perspective switch, still third person, to Ophelia. And she is a sweet little bird of a girl.
A little mouse.
She has been raised with her daughter as like the illegitimate child of the emperor. They were banished to the estate. Her mother fucked up somehow, and we as the reader don't know what her mom did. Mom dies in childhood. Ophelia is raised by her bitchy aunt and uncle, and they are bad. They kind of ignore Ophelia for the most part. They let her run around and do whatever she wants, which ends up her like living in the kitchen, befriending the housekeeper, kind of very tropey at this point. She loves to read. Call out to all of our girly readers here. Let's make her relatable. And she has no exposure to the real world. She's never left the estate. So she is very childlike in some ways and very knowledgeable in others. And it's this weird dichotomy of like, she knows all about all of the countries and noble families and mathematics and economy, but she doesn't interact with humans.
Yeah. It's interesting when you say that at the surface. It sounds like Bella from Twilight. But like Ophelia seems like an actual person in her own right. So it's an interesting kind of like, you can have the same character trope, but like do them very differently.
Exactly. So she is kind of hanging out in the castle and she sees these knights right in and she has no idea why they're there. She's like, well, this is not going to be a good thing for me no matter what happens. So she scurries to the kitchen, steals some rolls. She's like, I'm going to go chill out in the forest for a little while, let all this blow over.
I will say it was like a kind of throwaway line, maybe like 1 or 2 times, that kind of like devastates you. But she talks about the last time there was a bunch of knights at their, estate, how she was hunted. What the fuck?
She was abused, like emotionally, physically, living at this estate.
Because it's just those like tidbit lines that I feel like on the surface you'd be like, why is she like running away? Why is she being like all like squirrely or whatever? Squirrely is very much like the word that I would like put to her in this. But then you get these lines and you're like, no, that makes sense.
So there's a reason she's hiding in a tree.
Yeah, she literally hides up inside a tree and they're like, get the fuck down. And she's like, no, I don't think so.
And then Remin comes over and he's like, you will get out of that tree right fucking now.
Yeah, and she's like, I guess.
But she's so terrified she can't even say anything. And so he thinks that she was deliberately avoiding him because he sent letters ahead to be like, I'm coming to collect you for our marriage. You were supposed to be ready. And now you are wearing servant's clothes, hiding in a tree overnight.
No shoes.
What the fuck?
And I think he also thinks that she's like
simple.
Well,
I think after this initial like discovery of her in the tree, like they go back to the estate.
Stuff's not.
Her aunt and uncle pretend that our sweet Ophelia, like we had no idea she was out there. You silly girl. Let's have the maids go clean her up. And then the maids go clean her up, and then she disappears for another couple days. And Remin's like, something's not adding up here.
Ooh, what is happening?
And this was nice to see like a little glimmer of intelligence from Remin. He's like, how about we just chill? And I'm going to send all of my loyal men out to investigate and what's been going on in the state, which was nice.
Yes. These first opening scenes are just like bangers back to back because every other male romance lead would be like, you bring her out now. Like, this is stupid. Like, I'll fucking slit your throat if you don't bring her out. And it's like kind of just like obnoxious stupidity, but it's like they're aristocrats, like you have to play the game. And he's like, I understand I have to play the game. I will play it until it's inconvenient and like gets in the way of my plans, and then I'll do something. Intelligence?
This is what draws you into the book in the very beginning, is that you can see Remin as a tactician, like socially and in battle, and then that somehow disappears halfway through the book.
It does. Busy playing Age of Empires.
I know, right?
She's like, I couldn't build my wall.
Like, Remin needed more chances to display other types of strengths other than just being super big and good with a sword.
Yes, I agree. Because it's hard because these first couple scenes, you're like, oh, no, I get it. He's 24, but he's been through life.
But eventually, Ophiel is convinced by the housekeeper, kind of, that she needs to make her escape because she's been planning for years to like leave this estate. She has read enough about how to travel. It's cute because she thinks the way like a human who has never traveled before, like, I'm going to need food and money and I'm going to stay at an inn and, well, it's going to be dangerous, so I need to be careful.
She has her little like travel guide. It's all like bookmarked.
So she's like, one day she's hiding in the library, like in the rafters. She's chilling on a beam and I'm like, this is so cool. I want to do that.
I know, literally.
She's like a little alcove of books and a candle.
Just very mouse coated.
Yeah. And Remin was tipped off by the housekeeper because he's been looking for her along with this man. Go check the library out. So he's walking through the library, he's looking around and he looks up and he sees this light where light shouldn't be. And he's like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
What is going on?
And at this point, he does think she's kind of simple. Like her aunt and uncle have implied that over and over and over again. Like, you don't hear that one. How about our beautiful daughter over
God,
here?
I love that. Oh, it was so like, it was only like 2 chapters, but I was like, this is intrigue.
I wish she had drawn out them meeting a little bit longer.
Yes.
Like, have a few more interactions before he drags her off to get married.
Yes.
But she hops down from the rafters and he starts quizzing her. He gives her like math equations and like geography questions. And she's so terrified she just answers.
Yep.
And he's like, all right, well, good enough. Let's go.
Yep. And then he literally is like, okay, I got the girl. We're going to go. And they're like, whoa, you can't leave yet. But what about our daughter? And he's like, nah, dog. I played your game for 2 whole days. I don't have time for this. And they're like, whoa.
This was pretty hot.
Yes. Oh my God. Super hot.
He's like, I have what I need. We're done.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye. I wish there was a little bit more, because I think the mother leaves like a lingering threat of like, you watch out, I'll tell him what your mom did, what the big secret is, and he's gonna fucking hate you forever, and he's going to probably kill you off and like marry someone else. So just like watch your back. I wish that had played more of a role. Like it kind of played a role internally for her that she was kind of like separated from him because she's like, oh my God, once he finds out the secret, like it's gonna be over. But I wish it was like a little bit more from the woman herself, that like the threat
kind of fades out into like non-existence.
I don't think you find
out.
You
don't.
Okay.
Because her mother was the reason his parents were executed, but you don't know why.
Yeah. And then you never find out.
I'm assuming you find out in book 2 or book 3.
I would hope so.
But yeah. So now we have the first of many, many travel scenes. So many travel scenes on the road here. But this is where you first get to see Remin take care of Ophiel as he realizes, oh, she doesn't have anything. Like she doesn't have a bed, she doesn't have clothes. So he's kind of an unwilling caretaker where he observes her like asleep on the ground. He's like, I can't have my wife sleeping like this.
His guilt is so yummy.
It's so good.
But he still treats her like a dick. That was the part that you get it and you're like signed on, but like objectively, you're like, just be nice to her. What is wrong with you?
And this comes from his deep-seated insecurities. Like, if you saw your parents murdered...
he needs to see a therapist.
He has some other trauma that you find out at the very end of the book, which is why he treats Ophiel the way he does.
Yeah.
Doesn't justify it, but it kind of explains how he talks to her, at least. So they travel a lot. He sends his men ahead to the next town to start the wedding preparations. Because they're like, buy some rings, find a priest. That's all we need.
I love his knight listened to this plan and he's like, just 2 simple bands. And he's like, my sister got married and for the following 20 years, she would not shut up about this simple ring and how she doesn't even have a diamond to twinkle back at the sky. I have heard this line for 20 years. He's like, fair point.
Here's
Take a couple extra dollars.
more money.
And then Miche is like, I will put on the best performance the world has ever seen with 2 gold coins. And he's like, I don't know how you're going to do that, but like, sure. He's like, watch me. I'm going to charm people.
They arrive in Setterline, I think is the name of the town, moderate-sized town. And there's like crowds of people just waiting to welcome the troop of knights and watch this wedding happen. And Misha's like prancing, like, look what I did. He summons a tailor to get Remin ready for his wedding. And Remin's like, I didn't ask for this.
Where did all of this money come from? He's like, I didn't use money.
It was so good.
It was so good. Because it's crazy that in like a few interactions, you can create like the shape of Miche's character so specifically that he's like an actual person, but just with like 2 or 3 interactions that he's like,
this is that showing, not telling.
Yes.
This is how you show characters, not like have all of this inner monologue or like, I am sassy or I have feelings.
Yeah.
Like we've read that so many times.
It's like, show me that you have feelings, please. It's crazy. The more we're talking about this is super similar to Emperor's Edge by Lindsay Buroker, because there's a whole ass character who that's like his thing. He's like the purchaser for them because he can like sweet talk all of the ladies like, I'm so handsome. Give me a discount. That's Miche. That's crazy. Okay.
We're here for Miche.
Honestly. Because he's gentle too. Like he's like sassy and doesn't give a care, but like he cares about Ophiel. Dog.
He's one of those really sweet, like those dogs that don't look aggressive, but like you don't want to piss them off.
Yep.
Have you ever seen an Akita?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's Miche.
I could see that.
Big and fluffy, very cute.
Yep.
Will tear you to pieces.
Yep. But they also like are kind of snooty. They like have like an attitude. They're like, I know I'm better than you. Yeah. That's me.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
Now we're going to start assigning dogs all over.
I was about to say Ophiel is one of those like teeny tiny like teacup dogs. It's just like, please don't step on me.
She's got a little bow that's like slightly off kilter.
Yeah, and then Ronan is like a big like Rottweiler pit bull mix, crazy, just like absolute mutt.
So we have the wedding, and it's this weird but cool divine right thing where she legitimately shines like a star because she is a drop of starlight in her blood. And this was the proof that Remin wanted to show the world that I am in fact marrying the emperor's daughter. So the ceremony happens, she sparkles, she looks pretty.
Has flowers in her hair.
Yeah, she gets cleaned up for the first time and like treated nicely and gently, which I really appreciated. The housekeeper, innkeeper's interaction with her, like, you're a princess, let me help you. Then we have the wedding consummation.
This was crazy. I was not expecting full on smutty smut that early.
It was very early, but it makes sense because I think a lot of times in books like this, authors find ways to have the characters avoid having sex too soon for the relationship. But that doesn't make sense in this world.
Nope.
Like, she is the daughter of the emperor. He wants to make sure no one can annul his marriage. Going to have sex.
Yeah, because he went through like 8 different steps beforehand. Like he sent out copies of the like marriage notice. He like had it in this big town so that it would be like well recorded in like songs and like histories, and he had it at the chapel. It's the tactician thing that you were talking about. So like he's not gonna let that step get in the way. I love the fact that he's a virgin though.
Yeah, that was really well done because like he spent his entire life fighting. And so he has to get lessons from Miche on like what to do.
I love that it was like described as like excessively in detail, but he was like traumatized the whole time.
And poor Miche was like, why do I have to do this?
I feel like he would be like, no, let me tell you every single second of how this like it would like excruciating detail.
And it was fairly detailed. I wouldn't say it was gratuitous.
I wouldn't say so.
And it was a weird mix of like you can see the sexual attraction and chemistry between these characters, but like it's overlaid with like they're doing this because they have to, both of them. Neither one of them trust each other.
Yeah. I feel like that's like the biggest piece because like you can tell, and they're like obviously like vocal about the fact that they're like enjoying it. And it's like, oh, I get why people are like married. But it's also like they see it as something separate from them as like people. They're like, okay, this is just like what, you know, married couples do, and we can really enjoy it, but like trust you at all to like not stab me. Then
it was an assassination attempt the next morning. And Remin thinks that Ophiel has planned this.
Yeah.
He's constantly suspecting her of poisoning him, of going to stab him, because she's the emperor's daughter and the emperor hates him.
Because he keeps expecting like the poison apple kind of thing. And he's like, okay, like this worked out, but like where's the catch?
There's no way it worked out this good.
Yeah.
So he's waiting for her to turn on him. The assassination attempt kind of flips everything on its head. It completely severs whatever connection they were starting to form, like over the course of traveling and then during the ceremony. And they have to kind of go back to square one. And I think this is a good place to stop for part one, because then we go into so much more trouble.
Building the wall.
So much construction.
Where is the water? It's literally just like Bob the Builder plays Age of Empires.
Pretty much.
Oh my God. Like, I liked it, but it's just like, okay, like you did a little bit too much research.
Too much wall.
From our shelf to yours.
We'll see you on the next page.
Hi,
readers, like what you've been hearing? Like and subscribe to us on YouTube or Patreon at Not Another Heroine to support our growing library and get access to exclusive bonus content.
Ready for the next page? We post new episodes every Monday and Wednesday wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening.